Hey guys, I'm here. We are back for episode 4 of Andor. The first 3 episodes dropped last week. We have our reactions up on the channel for each one of those episodes, so go check those out if you have not. I really enjoyed the ride in those first 3 episodes. I'm glad that they released them all as a batch like that because they all really built off of one another. And the 3rd episode, where everything just kind of came to a boiling point, was so much fun and so cathartic. I just had a blast with it, man. It's so different tonally from any of the shows that we've had before, even some of the films. I think the closest one, for obvious reasons, is Rogue One that matches this kind of feeling. It feels grounded. It feels real. These feel like real people living their lives, almost borderline slice of life in this world of Star Wars. As they're just kind of getting pushed a little too far by the wrong people in the wrong ways. And we're starting to see people starting to get kind of fed up with the way things are being operated and ran around here. And there's a couple of mysteries floating around. We have Stellan Skarsgård coming in here to recruit him for something greater that I'm really curious to see where that relationship goes, because he's a very intriguing character in just his real short time that we've had with him. And of course, dude, Diego Luna is just great as this character, man. So charming, so fun and endearing to get behind in his kind of a street rat kind of way. But I love it. I love the vibe of this whole town. I love the characters we've been introduced to, and I can't wait to see where things go from here, especially with this agent that is tracking him down, the lead officer that's hunting him down. I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head, but I can't wait to see that pivot he's about to take after coming face to face with his kind of worldview being so openly challenged by this whole affair. With that all said, guys, we are going to go ahead and hop into this. So if you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access as well. It is in watch-along format, so you just sync up your own footage with the time code, send a reaction to the entire thing. You get the same thing for all the other shows we cover here. You also get to put forth suggestions and vote on what movies we react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, or try to make it worth your while since you are going to either way support the channel. But of course, I know nobody can do that, and a simple way you can help us out is just by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos, because it really does go a long way with helping us grow here on YouTube. With that all said, guys, let's go ahead and strap into episode 4. Here we go.
Calculating for Aldhani.
Are they coming? Do as I say.
Calculations complete.
God damn.
Been in a Fondor Hallcraft. Flown them. Never seen one do that.
Well, it's been a day of surprises for all of us.
A little special modification.
I said I know you. I know the outside. I know what people tell me when I ask. The rest I imagine. I imagine your hate. I imagine that no matter what you tell me or tell yourself, you'll ultimately die fighting these bastards. So what I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all at once to something real? I didn't risk my ass for the Starpath unit. I came for you.
Ah, so good, man.
What would we be stealing?
The quarterly payroll for an entire Imperial sector.
Hell yeah, man. Let's do this. Yeah, buddy! Long time no see. Oh. The ISB.
With the next quarter's detention estimates expected to increase across the Ryloth sector.
Ryloth.
What do we do here?
Sir?
What is our purpose, Legret?
On Abvala 6?
I open the question to the room.
We're here to further security objectives by collecting intelligence, providing useful analysis, and conducting effective covert action.
That is verbatim from the ISB mission statement and wrong. Security is an illusion. You want security? Call the Navy. Launch a regiment of troopers. We are healthcare providers. We treat sickness. We identify symptoms. The longer we wait to identify a disorder, the harder it is to treat the disease. Do you understand my meaning, Legret?
Yes, sir.
Don't trouble yourself writing the memorandum. I'll reassign it. Blevin, Morlana sector. This incident on Ferrix.
Corporate security, sir. They're still in charge out there. They tried to serve a warrant and ran into more trouble than they'd anticipated.
Trouble meaning what?
Several dead, property damage. A stolen Imperial Starpath unit was recovered at the scene.
Those responsible. Young.
Sir?
Elaborate on these added protection requests for traffic to the Adrian sector.
There's an increase in construction shipments going to Scarif, sir.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Take this. It's a Quati signet. Blue Kyber, Skystone, the ancient world. Celebrates the uprising against the Rakatan invaders.
I'm sorry, what was that? What invaders? What?
I want it back when this is over. If I live.
Oh my god, oh, it gave me chills, dude. Forgotten Empire.
Can't believe you're doing
You
this.
can pilot.
We go in 3 days.
Increases your chances of success dramatically.
Now, like this. Plug in some new person. It'll tear the team apart.
Well, that's not much of a team, is it? You plug him in as a replacement for anyone who goes down along the way. In the next 3 days, if for any reason, look at me! You want it to lead. This is what he comes to. I need to know you understand.
And if he's the problem?
Well, that's the advantage of renting him. He's disposable.
That was such a good scene, man.
You will holo certify confirmation of the official ISB after action report detailing your involvement and culpability in said Ferrix incident.
Questions?
No.
But I've had nothing to do with this.
Well, exactly. As of this morning, the Milana system is under permanent Imperial authority. Congratulations on that.
Damn, man.
We're robbing the armory at the Aldhani garrison.
He told me about the payroll, not the garrison.
I don't know who you're talking about.
How many of us are there?
Now we are 7.
7. 7 against the garrison.
Save your wind. This is a long walk.
Hey, hold on.
Ooh.
They won't be back today.
It says 5 dead. 1 local and 4 Imperial Security employees. They've misspelled Ferrix.
Where is my Starpath unit?
Clerical errors, man.
Said it in the meeting. It's got to be here.
There's a raw transmission in here somewhere.
That is our box from Steerguard.
Has to be.
I want you to go to Blevins' office, tell them we need everything they've got on Ferrix.
It might mean more if you went.
I don't want to spark his interest.
This guy looks familiar. Interesting. Is he getting his character ready?
There used to be hundreds of settlements up here. They were here for centuries. But it only took the Empire a decade to clear them out. Factories, new towns, Imperial housing. Aldhani has the unfortunate quality of being close to nothing and not very far away from everything. It's a perfect hub for distribution, if one were trying to take over the galaxy.
Oh, fuck.
Everyone's dead. While you were sleeping, they came in, slit everybody's throat. You ride with Mossy, Garbish, Saul Guerrera. Fall asleep on watch, they're gonna put your head on a pike.
This is Clem.
No questions. Oh, wait. Is that Karn? Yep. Skulking back home. Man, I love seeing this shit, man. Your Lukes, your Hans, your Anakins, Vaders, and all that stuff are just out there doing their thing. And Like, this is what's happening behind the scenes. Like, this is just the ground level view we never really get to see that much of. I'm home, Mom.
What are you staring at?
Vel. Vel!
I trust him. Okay?
Man, I got a familiar vibe from her too, but I can't place it.
Senator Mon Mothma's here. New driver.
Anyone we know?
Never seen him.
What a pleasure to see you.
You as well, Luthen. Sorry to be so late.
Luthen.
It's hard being surrounded with this much history and not be humbled by the insignificance of our daily anxiety. We often refer to the gallery as Coruscant's unofficial temple of patience.
Well, I have to start coming here more often.
You're teasing us. So, a gift for your husband.
Oh my goodness. I love seeing this.
It's a Udapawan monk cudgel. You see the ceremonial variety in many places, but this
There's
is
a
the real
Mandalorian
thing.
chest
You
plate.
see,
Ooh, what's that in the back?
it's a treasure for the true aficionado.
Yo.
Trying to expand parents' taste beyond.
Wait a second. That looks like the Star Killer armor from one of the DLCs.
Something very special that just came.
At least the mask kinda does.
All sharing the same mouth. If you can't deliver, I need to know.
Do you think I'm not trying?
That ship.
You're no longer coming through for
The
us.
money's there.
Some holocrons up in the back.
There's a new spy every day at the Senate. I visit the bank. They're all new faces.
You got a new driver.
I found someone I think can help me.
To bring you into the circle? No.
I know what I'm asking.
No. We're vulnerable enough.
Don't lecture me on vulnerability. No one's more at risk than I am. You think I haven't thought this through? I'd be the first one to fall.
Ooh. Man, I'm gonna have to go back through his shop and, like, scene by scene to see some of the stuff. Kinda like a speeder? Yep.
He's our contact at the garrison.
Wounded, on top of it.
On top of what?
On top of being someone I've never met who suddenly got my neck in their hands.
I know the feeling.
That is too much white. I would have a headache in here.
What's all this?
Dinner for the governor.
What governor?
My regimental mate, that governor.
That's tonight.
It's on your calendar. I added it a month ago after we discussed it. You don't remember?
Is this her husband?
You enjoying this?
No, just looking forward to seeing some old friends.
Who else is coming?
Seating charts is there.
Bars, Danga, Sly Moore from the Vizier's private chamber?
Is that a problem?
You can't be serious. These people hate me. They spend every day trying to undo anything I've touched. Don't seat them near me.
Oh, I've taken care of that. You're at the boring end of the table. These people are fun.
Are they? They're fun. Your fun friends just cut off their shipping lanes yesterday. Do you know how many will starve? Perhaps we can laugh about it over the third course.
There's rumor you bought me a present.
It's going back.
Must everything be boring and sad?
Jesus. Wow. We even got a shitty marriage dispute shit going on here in Star Wars too. I love it.
Garrison, observation tower, sentry defenses, all to protect this runway opening here.
I'll do it. It's fragile, that piece. The rain gets into the glue.
These old stones. Nasmabrani, it's a temple, or what's left of it, that once sat on the mighty river.
Once every 3 years, the Aldhanis gather in this valley for a celestial event.
To see what?
Imagine 50 meteor showers all at once, but like a curtain being pulled across the sky.
You've seen this?
I've been here almost 7 years. I've seen it twice. It's not the event it used to be. Now they've got everyone relocated. It's a pretty sad affair, but...
It's a recurrent band of crystallized noctilucent microdensities, billions of crystals, very heavy but small and unstable. As the planet passes through the belt, they swarm the atmosphere, heat up, and explode.
We've calculated an escape trajectory that gets us out just before the eye closes.
Damn. You know, he smirked a little bit.
That's your car.
It is my feeling that this is part of an ongoing effort to steal proprietary Imperial equipment in anticipation of an organized rebellion. I have 3 previous case files on my desk that begin to suggest a pattern.
You came to us from enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Here, we act on vetted and verified information. Alert me when this materializes into something more definite. Until then, confine future activities to your sectors. Thank you, Lieutenant. There's a high bar for your performance, Lieutenant. Unfair, perhaps, but senseless to ignore. On a positive note, I was impressed with your detention numbers from Sev Tok, far above the quota. I may be sending more of that sort of work your way.
Thank you, sir.
We're done.
That's the Rono freighter specs and the console layout. That's a detailed map of the garrison. That's an Aldhani phrase book.
Can I eat my food?
You'll eat, and you'll have learned all that by morning. I'll take the first watch.
First test of his skills, man. Oh, shit. Damn. Oh, man, I can't wait to see this. Oh, dude. I love this episode. I don't know, man. This might be my favorite episode so far. I don't know. I love it. I love all these things we're seeing. We see the public transportation. We see Karn getting his ass chewed. We see Karn going home to mama. And like the traversal of I don't think we even got another title card there when he arrived. I assume that was also on Coruscant when he went down there, and we saw him just taking the shuttle, arriving at the platform, taking the elevator, carrying his suitcases, going to the apartment building down in the lowers. I love that shit, dude. And then seeing Luthen, we got his name now, at least a name for him, as his public front of running this like antique store, this historical artifact, dispensary, where he kind of houses information from, collects these interesting items. And there's quite a few different Easter eggs in there that I caught. And I can't wait because I know there's some more, because I think I saw some screen grabs from like a preview of this episode or something like that showed a couple other items of intrigue that I want to check out that I didn't actually catch in the episode, and maybe I just missed it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to take a look back. We got to mention the Rakata invasion, the Rakata Empire, which was nice. Yeah, man. Seeing Cassian just kind of like roll with it as he's being like promised this real, like tangible way to get at the Empire, and see it. That's kind of truly deep down, no matter what he says, kind of what he actually wants. But there's maybe this inevitability about it that kind of has always kind of held him off, and he's more been out for himself. One thing, though, I'm very curious about is how this will tie back, maybe this whole thing, how that's going to tie back into his personal journey, like his questions about himself, his, attempt to locate his sister, that sort of stuff. I'm curious to see how this furthers that in the long run. Seeing the friction of this late in the game addition to the team, because Luthen definitely understands and respects and is trying to secure Andor's abilities. And this is more or less his first test, I think, of that. Being part of the movement, being part of attack, getting these names, this list of everybody on the Imperial payroll, because that gives them their targets. That puts everybody in their crosshairs that they need, and then they can kind of filter through that stuff and know who and where to target. It's a very smart move. But it's tucked away in this little military facility on this planet that is a distribution hub. Like they said, it's a great place for somebody, like position-wise, from the mid-rim, the outer rim, and all that stuff, to the core worlds. And it's such a great position if you're, for distribution. It's not too far from stuff, but it's not too far away. That whole spiel, great for getting things in and out, especially if you're trying to take over the system. Love that little line. Love the visuals. Love the production design of this whole thing. Just kind of seeing, like, again, the ground level everyman part of this is a lot of fun. And seeing just some of the more mundane elements of Star Wars is fun. Like, Luthen running a shop. We got our first introduction to Mon Mothma in the show, Obviously Genevieve O'Reilly is reprising her role from the previous films into this, and is, we're seeing her correspondence with Luthen, especially in the back, coming here because her husband is a fan of antiques and antiquities and especially weapons of old and stuff like that. Coming to him as a go-to person is a great cover to get away and kind of conspire. We're seeing like how intensely the Empire is cracking down on its senators and stuff like that. She's like, everybody I go to at the bank, my driver, every day it's like new faces. They're just always changing things up on them to keep them under wraps. And then on top of that, we go back, we meet her husband, and we get to see a little bit of the gameplay. And obviously the things that she stands for, where she actually stands for the betterment of the people, the things that actually are going to be affecting the people of these worlds. Meanwhile, her husband seems to be more interested in just having fun and living in this position, entertaining their friends, which are in opposition to a lot of things she's been trying to push in the Senate. And then she's like, what the fuck are you doing inviting these people, let alone sitting me around them? And then him calling her boring and all this kind of stuff and all that. It's like, man, makes me wonder, like, it's very much indicative of like what you kind of see in marriages and how they kind of end up, especially rubbing each other the wrong way eventually down the line, to the point where she's like, I went to get you a gift and you know what? Fuck you. I'm taking it back. And then he just fucking insults her as she's leaving. I like that. That's something we've never seen in Star Wars. And I don't know why, but it just brings me joy to see just these things like that, because it makes the world feel much more lived in than we've seen it. Also seeing a little bit more of Mon Mothma and how she thinks, what she's got to deal with, and her like perspective and position. And it just helps build out the world. We got a mention of the Emperor in this episode as well. We got to see them breaking down their attack plan with this event that is particular to this world. That we've seen similar things on other planets throughout the Star Wars canon, where there's their spiritual beliefs and these events that take place that are extraordinary. And they've timed it down to this one that is extremely reliable that will give them cover in this event. And I love that. It's just so great with the world building. And then Stellan, man, had some great scenes in this as he is fighting with Val for Clem's involvement. And when he just snaps on her at that moment, when she just keeps pushing and pushing, and that fervor is like, this is important. We have to do this. If this has any chance of survival, this is our way. Right now, it's a pipe dream. I'm still sending you in there, but it's at this point like a very much so a suicide mission. And he's trying to give them an edge, even if he had to buy it. And we get to see like all the things that Cassian's going to have to learn and adapt and meld together. Like, he is a jack of all trades as he is currently, but now he's going to have to try to work that all together for something a little more extreme and intense than he's ever done up until this point before. And to work with people, to be part of a coordinated effort. And it's, again, like we saw in the last episode with the rules that Luthen was giving him, which we see him apply later in Rogue One, we are seeing him hone that skill set that will make him into that spy that he is later. And then like these ISB agents that we're following who are sniffing around, that whole thing is a lot of fun to see, the inner workings of that. And I like the parallel, or not the parallel, the comparison that the head of it, I don't remember his name right now. I don't remember a lot of the names just yet. Like, I got to get them kind of sunk in, which will take some time, so I apologize. But the female officer, and then the dude that was manning the investigation of what happened on Ferrix, and they're rubbing of heads. They're fighting over jurisdiction because that piece, that Imperial cube thing, was stolen from a place in her sector, and then there's this whole thing back and forth. But then the guy in charge of it all, I love that he compared them to healthcare, because I was like, where are you going with this? And it's because, they need to sniff out and diagnose ruptures, cancer cells, things that are going to be a threat to the overall health system that is the Empire. And I like that. They are the antibodies in a way. That was a great way to kind of compare their job, because they're sniffing around. And that's another thing. she's talking about, I got a feeling about these sort of things. And they're like, we need facts here. You know, feeling, whatever. I need substantial. That he mentioned that in their first meeting too. The other guy, he was like, no, if we can't confirm it, if it's not tangible, it's a waste of our effort and time right now to manage as much of this space as they can. But I like the whole interplay. I'm very curious about what's going to happen with Karn, though, now that he's disbarred from this security officer position with that corporate security bureau. And what's going to happen there. That whole scene, too, when they were getting their asses chewed, that was also great. But now that whole sector is now under the control of the Empire because that system, that corporation, failed in such a simple matter. The visuals in this is so good because it's like actual locations. I love the volume, man. But yeah, you can definitely tell when they're somewhere for real than in the volume. It's got a look to it. Like, it's great for stuff like The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan and stuff where it's a little more stylistic. But when you're down in the dirt, like with Andor, I think it's actually better to be down in the dirt. But I really, really love this episode. It got a blood pumping, man, with everything going through it. The tension, the weight behind everything, because these aren't Jedi, these aren't Mandalorians, these aren't these like mystical, legendary beings running around the universe doing their things. These are just the average people just hanging out in the galaxy, just trying to fight for what's theirs. And also, we got that little systematic like description of how the Empire came in and basically ruined the population here. Not ruined, but repurposed, relocated, and put them to use. How they're encroaching on lands, how they're encroaching on cultures, and ruining what was once a great like festival, which now really doesn't happen as they call it now. Attending it's just kind of sad. When it used to be this huge, uniting, spiritual thing. It's just kind of indicative of just the whole concept of the Empire in general. Whew. Really love this, man. I don't know if it's been documented. I know I've mentioned this a few times. When this show was announced, I was like, really? I don't know if I'll be all that interested. I'll still watch it. I'll watch it if it's Star Wars. Doesn't mean I'll like it in the end. You know, I'll watch everything that's Star Wars. I don't ever like everything that's come out. But I did like Rogue One. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. Andor, we know what happens. Do we need to see it? And just the more we see, the more we hear. And now we're in the show. I'm just like, wow, was I wrong to be like that? I'm loving it. Guys, what'd you think of the episode? Did you catch any Easter eggs that I missed? I know I'm going to be checking out. I don't typically do the New Rockstars breakdown reactions for Star Wars stuff. I did for like Book of Boba Fett and like Obi-Wan, but like it's not a usual thing. But I've been watching these on my own time, so I'm very curious to see what other people find in there. So I'd love to know what you all think and what you all find. And who knows? Maybe we'll react to something. I don't know. I don't want to say never, but it's just not in the cards at the moment because there's just so much shit going on. It was also very difficult last week because there was 3 episodes at once and they just pumped those things out, dude. But that said, guys, I want to know your thoughts on the episode. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Feel free to join us in our Discord. We can talk about it there as well. Links to that in all my social description box below. Follow me in each and every one of those. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this, remember it's on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access to that as well. And speaking of, before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Mandy Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Coruscant, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Melita, Robert Anguiano, Raven McCann, Status Alive, and Jeffrey Hale. Thank you guys so much for continued support. And that's it for this episode, guys. I'll see you all next week with the next one. May the Force be with you always. Take care, everybody.